Hello. So I'm from Boehringer Ingleheim. Does anybody know who Boehringer Ingleheim are? Has anyone seen the viral video? The viral video that's come out today. So if you don't know who Boehringer Ingleheim are, or you have trouble pronouncing it, then you can log on and have a look on YouTube or something and find out exactly how we came up, or how you can say the name. So I've been with Boehringer for about 10 years now, and as Kevin said, I've got a background in community management and in journalism. But Boehringer's been around for a lot longer. It's been around since 1885. It's family owned still, and the family are still involved in the business. We operate in 40 countries around the world, and we've got about 42,000 employees. So today I want to talk to you, or engage with you, about gaming and gamification. Has anyone heard of the word gamification? It's a silly word, right? It's crazy. I mean, basically it means games, okay? So what we did is we came up with a word which was simple, linked with childhood and historical, and tried to make it more grown up and scientific and important to make us feel better. But basically it's about playing games, which is, you know, as old as human society is, playing games. Because games can make you feel good, and they can transport you to a different place and a different world. In much the same way, say, that a book can. So when we think about games and their relevancy, it's the same as asking, well, is a book relevant to learning? Well, of course they are. Books are relevant to learning. Some books aren't, some books are. Some games can be good, some games are not good. So BI, or Boehringer, has come up with a game. So that's just a little taster of the game. There's a little bit more about that later. So how did we get here? Well, a few years ago, one of the board of managing directors came up to me and said, how do we get ahead in the business? You know, what's happening? I want you to tell me what's going to be happening in digital and in healthcare in the next 10 years. I was like, how do I know that? He said, you want me to hack into the future or something? He went, yeah, hack into the future. I said, okay, so hacking into the future it's not an easy thing to do, and I realized I couldn't do it without a little bit of help. So I got a few people to help me. So we went to Reykjavik in Iceland with a few people. One of them you might recognize, actually. That's John Richmond there in the front in the blue shirt. Also, there were some young social entrepreneurs who'd made a lot of money at the age of 16. Being really creative and inventive. Then we had some older marketing people in there, someone who makes games for a living, someone who set up the first online pharmacy, and we had a futurologist there whose job it is to work out trends and future trends. And what we did is we came up with basically what's going to happen in the next 10 years in digital, and how can we as a company react to that to better serve the people that we need to serve. And what we did, we came up with this document called Future Forces, 12 Future Forces. And now in there is one of them, and it's called It's All a Game. But there are also some other future forces in there. I'm just very quickly going to go through one or two of them. One of them is bite-sized info. And this is all about, well, we're already experiencing it. We get such a lot of data thrown at us. It's really difficult to filter all that data and work out what's relevant. So the companies or the organizations or the people or the tribes that can sift through that data and serve it up in a timely fashion will be the information sources which are the most relevant and successful to us. Perhaps one of the best sort of expressions of bite-sized info is Twitter, although Twitter is sometimes like trying to drink from a fire hydrant at times. But if you can apply the right filters, then it's really useful. So Boehringer were one of the first pharma companies on Twitter, and I think we've done quite a good job at trailblazing how you can use Twitter, especially in the early days. And we have this nice social media design. By the way, I've got some little tweet things there as well. And it says hashtag BI Serum. So that's the game that we've got. So I'm going to move along quickly. Another one of the future forces was social power. And this is how communities will become increasingly more self-organized and become increasingly more important, to the extent where they can either boycott or boycott any initiatives or information that we put out. So we're acutely aware of that when we developed our Facebook page. And again, we've got this nice social media design that we do, and we really try and take our Facebook page as a proper community. We try and serve our community, which means we're on there every day. We've always had open comments. We've always had an open wall. We post questions up there, polls, and we try and engage in dialogue as much as possible, because we really want to understand, what it is that we need to understand. We also do the same with YouTube as well, where we try and use YouTube as a platform to put up videos, educational videos, and try and explain a little bit more about the diseases and information around those conditions that we think are important. So gamification. Back to this. Games can be fun, and the military know this. They've used games for a long time to help in training and to reinforce good behaviors and good habits. Humans love fun. It's a fantastic way to learn. It's a really immersive experience when you find a good game that you like to play. Does anybody here not like playing games? They're great. So even when we have a thing as serious as a disease or a medical condition, we can use gaming to reinforce certain habits and certain behaviors. This isn't the first time we've used gaming as this platform, as a platform for education. Health Seeker was something that was developed by Pugh Diabetes, and it was funded by Boehringer. Manny Hernandez from Pugh Diabetes was here last year, and he spoke about that quite a lot. So I urge you to go on and have a look at Health Seeker if you can. It's a way to try and encourage people to have healthier habits around diet and exercise in a fun way. We've also had a campaign out called Drive for COPD. COPD is a really disabilitating illness. It's really difficult to diagnose. The symptoms are often confused with older age or getting older, and it's also often associated with people who smoke. So the symptoms are often just part of the side effects of smoking. But if we can diagnose and treat COPD early enough, then we can really make an impact on patients' lives. So the Drive for COPD campaign was an attempt to try and drive online diagnosis of COPD just by filling in a simple questionnaire. And we had the really ambitious aim of trying to reach 1 million people with this campaign and get 1 million online diagnosis. And as you can see there, we've almost hit 2 million people being filling out the online diagnosis. So that's 2 million people that we've reached through this campaign, through both social media, through traditional marketing, but also through using game mechanics and competition. The last, or the most recent thing that we've done is called One Mission, 1 Million. This is a campaign where we've tried to say, we've given away 1 million euros to people who can raise awareness around atrial fibrillation and stroke. We launched it in 36 countries, as this infographic shows. We had 1,800 registrations, and amazingly, we had 2 million people voting for what their favorite campaign was. And the campaigns or the ideas that got the most votes received a big chunk of money. Again, we use gaming mechanics here, so it's sort of like a popularity thing where you have to vote for your favorite campaign. So Serum is the new game that we've developed. It's going to be launched over sometime this year. It's not quite ready. I was hoping it would be ready for an announcement today. But what we do have is the opportunity for you to take part in an alpha testing. And on some of the cards, on some of the tables, you have little cards, and there's a website there. If you go there, you can register if you're interested in having a test run of the game, playing it, and feeding back with us and telling us what you think about it, and helping us to make sure that this game is interesting, and we want to know what you think about it. So Serum is a very fun, playable game. It's all about the pharma industry, which is not an oxymoron. We can do it, pharma and fun in the same sentence. And in the same way that sort of Farmville is not just for people who... Has anyone heard of Farmville? Yeah? In the same way that that's not just for people who work on a farm, Serum is not just for people who work in pharma. So it's for anyone who likes playing games. It's for people who are patients. It's for people who work in the industry. It's for people who don't work in the industry. It's a fun game. So what is it? It's the best way to picture this is a blend of Farmville and Pokemon. Yeah? You play it by, you play a research and development company. You have to develop molecules and drugs. You have to put them into clinical trial. And you have to solve and meet the unmet clinical needs of the world. You have to stay ethical all the way through it. You have to stay independent all the way through it. You can't have any big, nasty other pharma companies coming and taking you over. And you have to be, there's social aspects to it. You can link up with your friends and customize, give them gifts and customize your laboratory. You can trade and collaborate to help create better compounds and drugs. But you'll also be able to steal their staff and do nasty things like that as well. It's got some locative-based stuff on it, so you can check in on your smartphones, and you can use that as your sales and marketing activities. And for us, it's a really great way that we can, although it's got real-life epidemics, we can use it as a way to promote disease awareness and education. So, for example, if we have people playing it and we want to do something around COPD or about atrial fibrillation, we can say, hey, if you look at these videos or you do this short poll or this questionnaire, then you can get a little free test tube rack or something like that for your game. So it can promote disease education and education for people playing it. So essentially what you do is you create a company, you research drugs, you cure diseases, you stay ethical, you've got to stay independent, and you collaborate, and you improve lives. So that's exactly what we do at Boehringer. So that's why we've made the game. And I hope you get to play it and enjoy it. Thank you very much.